So after a long day's work, it's nice to come out and see this sitting here, ready to ride. So naturally, even though we did what I thought was, excuse you, light this place up. So yeah, like I was trying to say, even though we did what I thought was a pretty thorough job of going over why I wanted this bike, I'm just going to get into, and this is going to be a nice segue here, see, because it's dark, or getting dark outside, and some of the more darker aspects of why I didn't choose the other bikes. And those bikes being the S1000R by BMW and the Triumph Street Triple. And I was even considering the Speed Triple, but I never rode the Speed Triple, so can't really say that was a contender. But first off, let's go with the BMW, because that was definitely the other really top contender that I was considering. So the S1000R, the biggest things that bike had going for it, as far as I was concerned, was the quick shift and the cruise control. It also had heated grips, but you know, I've read reviews about those heated grips and they weren't raving, as in they didn't get very that warm. And when I would need it, if I need those heated grips because it's cold outside, I need it to be, you know, I need it to be warm. I need it to do its job. So yeah, there's that. The other thing, so yeah, throw that out the window. But let's talk about cruise control. So I think that's a cool concept. I don't know how much I would want to use that on a motorcycle. Now, correct me if I'm wrong out there, and I know for you people on cruisers it's different, right? Because you're out there on long treks on the bike. You're on there for several hours at a time. But we're talking about max for me like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and a lot of that's going to be in pretty heavily trafficked areas. On a bike, I'm making split decisions all the time. I'm constantly slowing down, speeding up, and like on my car, it has the safety features where if you're getting close to a car and you've got cruise control on, it'll start slowing down, and it'll even brake for you if you're approaching the car really fast. This bike doesn't have that. Not this bike, I'm talking about the S1000R. Does not have that feature, you know, on a cruise control. So I don't even know how much I would use cruise control. Like I said, on a cruiser, for sure, you know, because you're going to be going long stretches where there's nobody in front of you and you're just going straight. Yeah, use cruise control. But again, for my move to the sport bike segment, I would not have used cruise control enough for it to be a determining factor. And again, the other one being quick shift. Now, quick shift was so fun.
Flashback.
Oh, that quick shift can get you in trouble because it's so easy to get up into higher speeds, and something I considered being a determining factor. But for me, I kind of thought, you know, will quick shift just be one of those things where it's kind of a, and by all means, quick shift is not this, but was it just going to be kind of gimmicky? Like, would I get tired of it and just be like, okay, now I want to pull the clutch in, so I'm not even going to use the quick shifter? That is a question that I will leave out there. And if you're a guy who loves the quick shift and swears by it, let me know. Leave it in the comments. But for me, as a guy who's never had quick shift, and I just, you know, it's kind of like where I feel like I'm having more fun and I'm more engaged as a driver if I have a manual transmission. And that's probably just me being old. And I don't even know how many of you, I don't even know how many of you young people watch my videos, but if you've never driven a manual transmission, I think that maybe it wouldn't even matter to you about having to shift and do all this, being actively engaged in your riding or driving. So anyway, that's the S1000R, and for me, I like the way the S1000R looked, but for me, as a total package, it just wasn't there. That asymmetrical front end to me was not my favorite. And really, the display on that, it was small-ish. It wasn't too small, and it wasn't like it was hard to read. But for this, compared to my KTM here, it was below the bar that the KTM set. Okay, so for the street triple.
Flashback.
But we're riding Sir Flesh Wound's street triple here, and it has, oh, such a nice little giddy up here. I loved riding the street triple. It was fun. I liked that it wasn't sitting up too on top of the bike. You felt a little more in the bike than you did on the BMW. The display, oh my gosh, the display on that 2018 Street Triple RS that Sir Flesh Wound allowed me to ride. Thank you, Sir Flesh Wound. Really gave me an idea of how fun that bike is. The bike had a lot of personality as far as looks go, and there was a Street Triple available for just a little bit more than this one. Excuse me, it was a Speed Triple nearby, and it was really an end, and it really came down to that Speed Triple and this bike. But for me, the Speed Triple and the Street Triple's looks, I didn't think, and this is me being superficial again, didn't win me over. It didn't wow me enough. And this is just a matter of opinion, but this opinion is huge when you're talking about the bike that you're going to be riding, and your bike, right? It's a huge part of, at least for me, it's a huge part of my life. So I wanted to, for lack of a better term, fall in love with my bike. And when I saw this bike, I fell in love. This bike did it for me, and really in the end, that was it. I loved this bike, and this was going to be my bike. But guys, that's all I've got for you on this topic. I know now this is not a video that's fun to watch. It's riding in the dark, but if you're watching this video and you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're out there riding, be safe. And if you're not riding, get riding. I am that one guy, and I am out.